We'll begin with Luck. Tell us your story.
Right. Hi, I'm Rigil. I'm playing RK-0336, a former clone trooper who was decanted 2 years after the Battle of Naboo and joined the 336th Attack Battalion soon after the Clone Wars began. His designation of 0336 was seen as a lucky charm for the members of the 336th, which ultimately led to him gaining the nickname Luck. During the war, he lost an eye, which was replaced by a cybernetic implant. And when Order 66 was executed, he participated in eliminating the Jedi Knight attached to the 336th. And as a part of the recon kinetic assets, hence the RK, he was then deployed to hunt down the fleeing Padawan. But during the hunt, his damaged inhibitor chip failed completely. It had been damaged previously when he lost his eye. And despite having a clear shot at the Padawan, Luck did not take it and later reported to senior command that he had confirmed said Padawan's death. His unit would later be redesignated the 336 Stormtrooper Battalion, and he continued to serve for 9 standard months before finally deserting following a routine pacification operation that turned into a massacre. He has spent the last 15 years fighting as an insurgent in one group of would-be rebels after another.
Very good. Next in rank is Bosco, who was initially recruited by Kalen Bree, your resistance contact. Bosco, what's your story?
Yes, I'm FX engineer. I'll be playing Bosco, and Bosco is a human. His family, he was born into a separatist sympathizer family on Fantine, and their business is pharmaceuticals and doctors. They're a family of physicians and medical supplies and pharmaceuticals and other medical products. Um, During the war, his brother was killed by an imperial officer, and he already had anti-imperial sentiments. This pretty much cemented his hate for the empire, and he's pretty much kind of a black sheep of the family. His family sort of wants to keep the status quo, but Bosco has taken it upon himself. He pretty much took his inheritance, and he did actually graduate as a doctor, so he is a doctor pharmacist. But he took his money from the family. He still has his ties, and he runs operations for the rebellion on the side through his contact, Kalen Bree. He does have an interest in, it just kind of was ingrained into him to make money and be wealthy and successful. His way of doing that is he has developed a bunch of contacts in different factions, smuggling and selling pharmaceutical and medical supplies. So that's how he makes his money and his day job. But he has become more and more involved with the rebellion.
Cool. Let's continue down the line. Next is Nim. What's your story?
I am Gigermann, and I am playing Nim Shola, who is a Duros, a Fantine local raised in a large extended family. His father owned a junkyard catering mostly to speeders and small craft, where Nim worked since he was able to wield tools. Pa had ties to a local criminal gang, and the scrapyard often served as a chop shop. As a result, Nim grew up in the criminal underworld and was employed as a thief from an early age. He recently got pinched by Novosek as a result of a heist gone wrong and did time in the mines. During his incarceration, his father was killed by Imperial officers while participating in a riot believed to have been agitated by the gangs in response to a recent crackdown on organized crime. Ma took over running the yard in Pa's absence. And Nim was recently released from prison after around 2 years and is now working in the yard trying to keep his head down.
Cool. We shall move on to Tina. What's your story?
Hey, I'm Mel. I'm playing Tina, Tiny Crankshaft. Tina has always had a knack with mechanical things, ships, droids, weapons, you name it. At a young age, she was apprenticed for a small mechanic shop on the only planet she'd ever known, and made a name for herself at being able to keep engines and even the worst shapes somehow running. She pretty much had a relatively comfortable life, fairly carefree. She lived with her mom. But one day, her mother was gunned down in crossfire by Imperial soldiers who had showed up on a tip that there was a Jedi hiding out on the planet. In her last breaths, her mother told Tina of the Force, being a Padawan and the supposed one-eyed clone who spared her life a long time ago on Fantine. She begged Tina to seek him out for help and gave her a bag with her broken training saber, and Tina hopped the next ship, heading anywhere in the galaxy, searching for the clone. So Tina is now on Fantine, and as fate would have it, so is the clone. She managed to secure a spot on the team, but she doesn't trust him all the way yet. She might tell him one day, though.
Force works in mysterious ways. All right. Finally, Darrell.
Hello, I'm Nosh. I'm playing Darrell or Darryl. You can decide how you want to pronounce it, if you dare. Darrell earned his pilot's wings during the Clone Wars, first as a navigator and then as a co-pilot, running a variety of missions against separatists. He saw action in the Outer Rim sieges, ferrying Republican troops into Hot LZs. Here he was finally recognized for his excellence in piloting craft into and out of hot spots. When Order 66 dropped and chaos ensued, Darrell found himself fleeing the Grand Army's immediate reach and escaping with other pilots, navigators, aircrew, and soldiers to anywhere relatively safe. As word spread of the Empire's enslavement of Wookiees, Darrell fled into the Outer Rim territories, an area with which he was familiar, working in various roles as a pilot navigator for hire and avoiding Imperial trouble, even as his work brought him into contact with pirates, bounty hunters, and smugglers. Eventually, he found himself piloting and navigating for various shady enterprises into the Mid-Rim territories. Eventually, he found himself in Fantine, where his last employer refused to pay him on his contract. However, he's hoping he will find a new contract soon.